Hello everyone, Jorge Huertas once again with all of you. Today I'm gonna show you what is and how to use the visual design principles. This video is also available in Spanish. Well, this is a conceptual base of visual design. It got the following characteristics. These are the basic elements that are used to generate any type of visual layout from very simple to very complex. It is very important knowledge and needs to be developed correctly by anyone who do any type of design. It aims to generate visual compositions that comply with the brand identity characteristics of a visual project or business model promotion. To use these principles of visual composition correctly is fundamental. 1. See many visual references, that is, to educate the view, structure, and know what looks good in a composition and what doesn't. This is called visual culture. And second, know about trends and understand that any development that is done must go around with the visual identity of the project or business model. Okay, so when we are talking about visual design concepts, we start to know that any kind of development that we are doing is focused and is user-centered design. So the first thing that we need to ask is who's the customer. So in this case, it will be our brand, which is Design Thinking 24/7. Here you put the brand that you are working with. The second thing that you do with that is very important to know the visual design principles. Visual culture is extremely important because it's the knowledge that you know after you see a lot of reference, a lot of pictures, a lot of designs, you start to educate your eyes so you know what looks good and what looks bad. This is a lifetime process. I mean, it's just not one day that you wake up and say, okay, I'm designing very well and I have a really good visual culture. No, this is a process of your whole life. So if you want to know what looks good, what looks bad, you need to have very good visual culture. After that, there is another principle called hierarchy. When you are designing something, not all the variables have the same size, the same proportion. The most important variables are bigger. That is called hierarchy, which means that if it's more important, it will be bigger. If it's less important, it will be smaller. Then we have proportion. Proportion is extremely important because it will allow you to see the size of different components in your layout. So not everything have the same proportion. It depends of the trend that you are using. Composition. Composition is extremely important because it's the way that you design, that you put all your ingredients in your composition. Because designing is like cooking. You have to have different ingredients so you cook it all together and you develop something. So in the visual field is the same thing. The composition is the way that you distribute all your components in an infographic, in a flyer, in whatever you're doing. The distribution. Distribution is the way that you put together all your components. Remembrance. That is very important. What is a good design? That is a question that many of us are asked many times. The most important thing is that a good design is something that you remember. And you remember because it's something that it caught your attention. So if you wanna be remembered for something good, you have to create something that people will understand and is focused on the brand identity of your development. After that, you need to know what kind of visual development are you going to make. And there are many different developments that you have to make. These are your principles. Now you need to know how are you going to put together in your development. So the color is very important. The color, it goes around with the brand identity. That is the kind of stuff that you need to focus on. The typography. what kind of typography are you going to use for your development, and how many. I always recommend not more than two for a development. It's very important here that you use the graphic line. The graphic line is a key focus in your brand and of course in your development. If you see, not always, but a lot of time you use lines to link all your components, but there are different kind of lines, and each line there has a different meaning. So you need to know what kind of message you want to send to your customers or to the people that are looking. So after that, you choose the kind of line that you want to. Then links. The links are also very important because it will make you put together everything that you are looking for. Not always, but sometimes you use a reticulate, especially when you are doing things that are not digital. So you can have proportion and you can keep in mind all your development. People reticulate, so have a proportion in their development. Encapsulate. Encapsulate, it's also a component that you can use in different moments, not always, but sometimes people use it. Pictograms. Pictograms are extremely important because pictograms synthesize many actions in just one draw. So it's very important. If you don't know how to make pictograms, please check the video that is here in our channels when we teach how to develop your own pictograms. Photography. Photography is also very important because it will allow you to focus and show different kind of situation. It depends of the graphic line that you are developing. It has to be focused on that. Illustration. Not everyone, but a lot of designers know how to illustrate. If you know how to illustrate, if you already have a graphic line that is solid, it's very important that you use it in your development. It will help you a lot. So as you can see, we got many components in the visual design principles. It's very important to know when and how to use it. You don't use everything in one development. You use it in different developments, but it's very important to know how to use it. Visual culture is extremely important for anyone who is designing any kind of development because it will allow you to focus in the things and trends that you are doing. As a conclusion, we can say that the principles of visual compositions are the foundation to develop any graphic design proposal according to the identity of the project or business model that you are working on. The objective of using these elements is develop visual composition with unity that represent the identity of the brand. That is very important because it will allow you to know and figure it out different kind of stuff. So it's up to you. When you are designing, it's not like a collage. It has to have some principle that you use and know how to put together. Thank you very much. Please subscribe to our channel, Design Thinking 24/7. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Thank you to all of you. We are the #1 design thinking channel and agile methodology channel in the whole YouTube platform. Remember, every Monday we have a new video in Spanish. Every Thursday we have a new video in English. Thank you so much and we'll see you next time.